Rajan, Fault Lines, How Hidden Fractures Still Threaten the World Economy. Embark on a journey to uncover the hidden fractures that threaten the world economy through the gripping summary of Fault Lines by Raghuram. Gain insights into the complex underlying dynamics of family estrangements, the devastating effects they can have on individuals and families, and the 6 common pathways that result in these heart-wrenching separations. Arm yourself with practical strategies for resolving seemingly intractable conflicts, and foster a renewed connection with estranged family members. Learn to let go of the past by adjusting expectations, embracing forgiveness, and setting healthy boundaries for healthier family relationships.
Pathways to family estrangement. Family estrangement typically results from a volcanic event, like a conflict or major disagreement, which is often preceded by underlying dynamics. 6 common pathways leading to estrangement include childhood trauma, divorce, in-law tension, financial conflicts, unmet expectations, and differing values. Understanding these pathways can help prevent family disconnect, promote healing, and provide insight into the consequences of estrangement. Family estrangement doesn't just appear overnight, it's usually the culmination of numerous underlying dynamics that lead to a volcanic event. Unearthing the root causes and understanding the reasons behind the eventual breakdown can be instrumental in promoting healing and avoiding an unexpected disconnect. Here, we will explore 6 common pathways that often contribute to family estrangement. 1. Childhood trauma. Estrangement is more likely if individuals experienced a painful childhood with neglectful parents or sibling favoritism. 2. Divorce. Family disconnect can also happen when children get caught amidst parental conflict during a separation, leaving one or both parents estranged. 3. In-law tension. New family members like in-laws can create friction if they don't blend well with the rest of the clan, leading to conflict and estrangement. 4. Financial disputes. Conflicts over inheritances and sibling financial disagreements breed tension, and if unresolved, can result in estrangement. 5. Unmet expectations. When expectations within the family aren't met, such as parents expecting care in their old age, disappointment can lead to discord and eventually severing ties. 6. Differing values. Divergent personal beliefs, like adopting an opposing religion or political stance, can create a rift in the family if not navigated carefully. Recognizing these factors is crucial as they serve as the backdrop for volcanic events leading to estrangement. Once erupted, these events impact not just the individuals involved but also the family at large. By identifying the underlying dynamics and working to address them, families can avoid the pitfalls of estrangement and work together to maintain healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The ripple effects of estrangement. The pain of family estrangements can echo through generations, causing significant emotional distress and ruptured connections among relatives. When estrangement occurs, the loss of attachment and feeling of rejection can lead to intense grief, depression, and a shattered sense of self-worth. The lack of closure makes estrangement harder to cope with than the death of a family member, often resulting in chronic stress. Not only does it affect the individuals directly involved, but it also creates collateral damage, forcing other relatives to pick sides and lose contact with their loved ones. When family bonds abruptly sever, the ensuing estrangement can cause considerable heartache and leave lasting scars on all those involved. Surprisingly, despite these troubling consequences, our need for attachment remains a vital part of our emotional well-being. In fact, these biological connections are responsible for providing security and comfort throughout our lives. However, when estrangement interferes with this bond, it can elicit profound feelings of grief and sorrow. One significant aspect of estrangement is the sensation of personal rejection that accompanies the loss of a familial relationship. Family members, who are supposed to understand us better than anyone else, suddenly reject the relationship, causing us to question our worth and value. Researchers such as psychologist George Slavic have discovered that this type of rejection increases the risk of depression among affected individuals. Moreover, coping with estrangement is generally more challenging than dealing with the death of a family member. The permanence of death provides a sense of closure, while estrangements remain ambiguous and uncertain. The possibility of reconciliation that may expose one to further rejection or the burden of establishing boundaries with toxic relatives can inflict emotional stress and pain. As a result, estrangement often leads to chronic stress and lasting mental anguish. The consequences of family estrangement extend far beyond the individuals at the core of the conflict. Such rifts can impact entire family networks, creating collateral damage that splits loyalties and severs connections. Siblings may find themselves forced to choose sides, grandparents could lose contact with their grandchildren, and even childhood friendships among cousins might be torn apart. This destructive ripple effect can linger for decades, affecting generations of relatives and leaving a legacy of pain and heartache. Ultimately, the devastation caused by estrangement highlights the critical importance of maintaining healthy and supportive relationships within families. While society evolves and establishes alternative support networks, it is crucial to remember the power and value of traditional family bonds. By acknowledging the lasting effects of estrangement, we can work collectively to preserve familial connections and cultivate a more compassionate and understanding environment for all family members. Rebuilding fractured bonds. Estrangement between family members happens, but it doesn't necessarily have to last forever. Recognizing the value of mending relationships, both for oneself and for access to a support network, can lead to reconciliation and the rebuilding of social capital. As people live longer, it's essential to reevaluate severed relationships and make efforts to reconcile and reconnect. Years ago, Cliff and his younger brother, Harry, had a bitter disagreement. Frustrated with their contentious relationship, Cliff ended all communication, and the brothers didn't speak for 8 years. However, as Cliff aged and watched friends fall sick, he realized that he wanted to make amends with Harry. Cliff's choice to rebuild their relationship wasn't an unusual one. Many people decide to bridge past disagreements and attempt to heal rifts with family members. For Cliff, reconciling with Harry became a self-serving act that brought peace of mind. Aside from resolving the unsettling feeling of remaining estranged and avoiding future regrets, reconciliation can also open doors to a broader family network. Reconnecting with relatives, like beloved aunts or uncles, can enrich one's life and provide access to valuable resources otherwise unavailable due to conflict. This access to resources through family connections is part of what's known as social capital. Being a part of a family network can offer support during difficult times, such as needing help with childcare or elder care, or finding a professional in the family. When families come together, pooling their resources and expertise, everyone can benefit. As life expectancy continues to rise, children will now spend roughly 5 decades outside their parents' homes. This extended period creates ample opportunities for reconciliation, allowing individuals to come together and foster rekindled relationships. The decision to rebuild burned bridges can be both practical and selfish. However, the rewards, peace of mind, a sense of belonging, and access to social capital, make reconciling well worth the effort. In order to navigate these complex situations, it's essential to develop practical strategies and approaches for addressing and resolving stubborn conflicts. Embracing reconciliation. When unresolved conflicts occupy our minds, they prevent us from seeing others' perspectives and hinder reconciliation. To facilitate healing, we must let go of our stories, acknowledge our roles in the conflict, and understand the deeper issues at play. By doing so, we empower ourselves to take action in rebuilding relationships instead of waiting for others to make the first move. Dwelling on past conflicts, often called volcanic events, can skyrocket our emotions and make it nearly impossible to move forward. These unresolved disputes fester in our minds as we replay the details and justify our actions or blame others for their perceived wrongdoings. However, this fixation on our own stories keeps us from seeing alternative perspectives and ultimately prevents reconciliation. The first step toward healing is to let go of our subjective narratives and examine the conflict more objectively. By understanding that these volcanic events are not isolated incidents but products of underlying relationship tensions, we can better identify and address the deeper issues at play. Taking responsibility for our role in the conflict is crucial, as it enables us to approach the situation differently and work proactively toward reconciliation. For instance, when Susie acknowledged her overprotectiveness in an estrangement with her son, she gained the insight and motivation to work on rebuilding their relationship instead of waiting for him to apologize. Naturally, we might feel defensive and claim ignorance about the reasons for the estrangement. Re-examining our stories can create feelings of vulnerability and uncertainty, requiring us to relinquish the comforting idea that we are blameless and entirely in the right. However, when we are willing to let go of our stories, we open ourselves up to alternate points of view, enabling reconciliation and the chance to forge stronger bonds in our relationships. Embracing reconciliation. Reconciliation between estranged family members often requires setting aside past disagreements and focusing on building a shared future together. Accepting that differing perspectives on past events may never align, individuals can make meaningful connections by discovering common interests in the present. As relationships are re-established, deeper conversations and even apologies can naturally emerge over time. Growing up, Tony experienced an emotionally abusive childhood with neglectful parents, while her sister Marcia recalls a warm and stable home. Although they share the same parents, their memories vastly differ, illustrating a common challenge when attempting reconciliation, aligning contrasting perceptions of the past. However, waiting for family members to see eye to eye may be a futile endeavor. Instead of clinging to the past, true reconciliation involves finding common ground in the present and constructing a shared future. Letting go of the past does not entail abandoning truthful accounts or ignoring pain, but accepting that a mutual understanding of past events may not be achievable. Reconciliation permits relationships to move forward by focusing on current interests and activities. Examples of successful reconciliations include a mother and daughter who reconnected through a weaving class, despite years of estrangement and a turbulent history. Another heartwarming tale involves elderly sisters who rekindled their bond by enjoying slot machine games together. Although some might consider these acts of re-establishing relationships superficial, finding joy in each other's company after years of conflict is a remarkable achievement. As relationships strengthen and trust builds, opportunities for more profound conversations about the past can arise organically. Some reconciled individuals have even received long-awaited apologies from family members, but only after investing time and effort in rebuilding the relationship first. Embracing reconciliation enables estranged family members to let go of past grievances and create lasting, meaningful connections. Embracing family imperfections. We are constantly exposed to idealized images of happy families in media, leading us to develop unrealistic expectations for our own relatives. To foster healthier relationships, it's crucial to adjust our expectations and accept our family members as they are, with their flaws and shortcomings. While it's essential not to tolerate abusive behavior, many conflicts arise simply from differing personal values. Demonstrating flexibility and understanding can often be the key to avoiding estrangement and maintaining strong family bonds. In today's media-driven world, depictions of perfect families are everywhere, from television shows to social media posts. However, the truth is that family life can be quite complicated, and people don't always meet our expectations. To build stronger, more resilient connections with our loved ones, we must adjust our expectations and embrace their true selves, imperfections and all. Estrangement from a family member might seem like the easiest solution when they let us down, but the psychological impact can be damaging. Consider the story of Dina, who cut ties with her brother after he didn't help her care for their sick mother. Despite initially cutting off contact, she ultimately realized that the key to preserving their relationship was to acknowledge his flaws and continue their relationship with clear boundaries in place. By accepting her brother as he was, she was able to maintain their connection without tolerating unacceptable behavior. To be clear, adjusting expectations shouldn't mean putting up with abuse or mistreatment. No one should have to endure demeaning behavior from a family member. More often than not, family conflicts stem from differing personal values, rather than intentional harm. One prime example involves a set of new grandparents who expected to stay with their son and daughter-in-law after the birth of their grandchild. When they were asked to book a hotel instead, they were so hurt that they decided to sever contact with the entire family. In their eyes, the request reflected a rejection of their deeply held belief in the importance of family solidarity. Thankfully, these grandparents were able to reassess their expectations and ultimately reunite with their loved ones. Had they not done so, a simple disagreement over accommodations could have cost them their relationship with their grandchild. In conclusion, letting go of unrealistic expectations towards our loved ones is a crucial step in cultivating deeper family connections. By accepting and embracing our relatives' genuine selves, we can navigate around potential conflicts and create stronger bonds. With a combination of understanding, flexibility, and clear boundaries, we can cherish the real-life connections that far surpass any fictional portrayal of family. Boundaries, key to reconciliation. Reconciliation with estranged family members, especially those who have exhibited volatile or abusive behavior in the past, can be daunting. However, establishing clear boundaries is key to making the process work. Seeking the help of a therapist and openly communicating your terms can set the groundwork for rebuilding a relationship. It's crucial to stand firm and enforce those boundaries in order to protect your well-being and maintain a healthy relationship. Picture yourself trying to mend a broken relationship with a family member. You've put in the effort to reassess your past experiences, adjust your expectations, and build a new connection, but the fears of facing the same abusive behavior can hold you back. These apprehensions are understandable. Sometimes, family members can exhibit erratic or damaging behavior that makes you feel emotionally unsafe. To overcome this fear and make reconciliation possible, you need to establish good boundaries within the relationship. Seeking the help of a therapist can be an effective way to identify and develop these boundaries. A skilled therapist will mentally equip you to face the uncertainties of reconciliation with confidence and assertiveness. Being transparent about your expectations and setting clear boundaries with your family members is essential. For example, if a parent has a history of verbal abuse, you must make it clear that any form of hostility or aggression will not be tolerated, and you will withdraw from the conversation if they exhibit such behavior. This may not lead to a close and deeply loving relationship immediately, but it lays the foundation for a positive and respectful connection. When re-establishing relationships under these new boundaries, your family members may push and test the limits you've set. It's during these moments that being firm and assertive becomes vital. Take the experience of Sanjay, who reconciled with his father despite his mean and critical nature. He made it clear that his father's critical opinions were not welcome, and whenever his father tried to provoke him, Sanjay disengaged or warned that he would leave if the behavior continued. Eventually, his father realized the seriousness of the situation and adjusted his behavior accordingly. As Sanjay's story demonstrates, though it may seem tough, standing firm with your boundaries is an act of love. By doing so, you not only protect your emotional well-being but also create a path towards rebuilding healthier relationships with your loved ones. Embracing family reconciliation. An individual's decision to reconcile with estranged family members depends on a personal moment of clarity and readiness to take that step. The reconciliation process involves contemplating the relationship and potential outcomes, formulating a plan of action, and setting realistic expectations. Having a support system in place can be beneficial throughout this journey of mending broken ties. Arlen's moment of inspiration surrounded by the spirit of Christmas became the catalyst for him to seek reconciliation with his long-estranged brother. Such moments of clarity and insight can be the driving force towards rebuilding relationships. Remember, only you know when you are truly prepared to reconnect with distant family members. The decision to reconcile can also be a gradual process. Reflecting on the estrangement and contemplating the possibility of having that family member back in your life plays an essential role. This period offers the opportunity to reevaluate your role in the relationship and explore the pros and cons of re-establishing that connection. Keep in mind that rebuilding ties requires two willing participants, and it's important to remember that the healing journey can only start if both parties are open to it. Brace yourself for the possibility that the olive branch you extend may be rejected. Before initiating contact, create a well-thought-out plan of action, whether that is writing a letter or arranging an in-person coffee date. Reflect on the kind of relationship you envision moving forward. Clarify whether you aim for a cordial connection during family events or hope to achieve a deeper, more intimate bond. Set realistic expectations and acknowledge that certain relationships may not drastically change overnight. Seek guidance from trusted friends or therapists as sounding boards throughout the reconciliation process, as they can provide valuable support. Armed with your action plan and the understanding that the journey might be challenging, take the leap and reach out. Always remember, while reconciling with your family could be nerve-wracking, it can also open the door to regaining invaluable connections and a sense of closure.
The captivating summary of Fault Lines by RaghuramGRajan equips readers with an understanding of the delicate intricacies of family estrangements, the significance of recognizing underlying dynamics, and the necessity of setting appropriate boundaries in any relationship. To re-establish connection and trust with estranged family members, it's essential to let go of past grievances, adopt realistic expectations, and seek reconciliation in the present. Cherish the newfound peace of mind and the enrichment of your family network, as the process of reconnecting provides invaluable resources, support, and life-lasting bonds.